time to fuel your business success. Welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. We're bringing you bite-sized advice and expert conversations to drive clarity and growth 5 days a week. Make sure you join our Facebook group at humanop.com/lunch, where listeners like you and our guests hang out so we can find harmony in business together. If you're building a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Welcome back into some more bite-sized business advice. In today's episode, we're going to talk about your money mindset. It's going to be a fun episode. We're going to talk about, hopefully, how you can stop self-sabotaging yourself with your money mindset. I can't wait to dive in. I have Pericles Rellas with me. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
Brandon, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is such a fiery topic with people. Money, isn't it? What happens when you tell people what you do and what you talk about? What's their reactions like?
They're instantly enthralled. They're like, really? What? And you can see it on their face. It's like a kid when you talk to them about Christmas or, a special holiday, they are interested. But then when you start to look at the source of the work that I do, which is your mindset, how you impact things, suddenly it's like, oh, I have to look at myself. I have to, and then we start doing this just a little bit. So it's always an interesting dynamic of when people ask me what I do.
Yeah, it's great to talk about other people and their money mindset. That's fantastic. Don't you dare turn that mirror around on me.
Yes, exactly right. And that's the world that I live in, really. And that's what I create with my clients, is that everything we do, especially our relationship with money, is a mirror of our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. And when we start to see that, we can start to make real changes in the way we operate on our business level and our personal level and our mindset in terms of money level. And suddenly things just really start to sing.
Yeah, so let's dive in here, because we have an audience of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, and a lot of them have been in business for a long time. I myself have been in business for a long time. On the surface, on the outside, it looks like everything's great. But the real trouble is on the inside and what's holding us back. Maybe we could be at a much higher level or a much different level. What does it look like for the people who you actually work with? Not the ones who you just tell what you do. For the people you actually work with, what are the thoughts going through their head, or what are the common symptoms that you see in their lives?
Yeah, there is a theme to almost everyone I work with. And the first thing is to say, okay, what does my life look like in terms of business success, in terms of personal success? Where am I happy? And where is there something missing? And when there's something missing, that's where we want to really start to look. And if you're unwilling to look in that area, that's fine. Then this isn't the conversation for you. But the conversation for those who are looking at is, okay, where am I not exceeding or at least reaching where I want to be? And one of the things that I notice consistently with people is that there is a theme to their success. They can get to a certain level and then they hit a wall and they can't break through that. And if we look back through time, we can see it consistently in everything that they've done. That's what I call a block in the flow. Whether it's a block in the flow of success, a block in the flow of love, a block in the flow of money, it's a mindset that has limited us in what we can accomplish. And when we can see that little mindset shift, like money's the root of all evil, that's one that's really great, especially when we start really hitting success. People start wondering, am I going to become evil? Is this going to make me bad? That's a conversation that is going to diminish our ability to be truly successful. And when we can annihilate it, recognize it and annihilate it, then we open ourselves up for the next level of success.
I like it. So what's an example of that showing up? I'm thinking, if someone starts, let's say 4 businesses and all of them get to 10 employees or $1 million in revenue, like, is that a pattern, or how do you extrapolate that pattern to maybe something in their personal life or their love life?
Yeah, I think that the place to look is, I have this distinction called our financial thermostat, and it regulates, just like a thermostat, how much money we can earn, how much we can keep, as well as our thoughts, feelings, and emotions around money. So I work with a lot of people that can make a lot of money. They just can't keep it. It disappears all the time. They don't know where it goes. It literally just vanishes. Then I work with a lot of people, they can't make a lot of money. They can save, but they don't make as much as they'd like to. And I work with people that make a lot, save a lot, but they're not fulfilled and they're not satisfied. And that's where we want to start to look. If you're unfulfilled in your life, but you've got all this success, then you're on a hamster wheel where you're generally, if I make this much, if I get my business to this level, if I have this many employees, then everything will be great. Well, we're looking outward for that sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. And that's not where it comes from. And that hamster wheel will just run faster and faster and drive ourselves into the ground. And we see it all the time with business owners who are hugely successful. You and I would look at them and say, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But then you step into their world and they're miserable. They don't sleep, they don't have good health, they're driven by something, and they're never experiencing a sense of joy and satisfaction in their life. That's that financial thermostat regulating their experience around their success. So when we can notice it and then alter it, suddenly we start to have satisfaction. And this is where the real cool part comes in. Like, I'm actually satisfied and fulfilled right now where I am. I don't need more money. I don't need more success. I don't need to expand my business. I actually have it right now. Then it becomes a game about, where do I want to take my business next? I'm not driven by that thing that I've not distinguished. I'm actually inspired by it. And that's a whole different world to operate inside of when we're looking at these kinds of numbers and these kinds of businesses.
Is it fair to say that money is a byproduct? It can't be the goal?
Yes, it's absolutely fair to say that, because 99% of the people I work with think money's going to provide them with joy. It's going to provide them with happiness. It's going to provide them with security. None of those things are true. I have worked with, on the list, billionaires, and I have seen no sense of security, no sense of fulfillment, no sense of joy. Now, on the flip side, I've worked with people that have that kind of money and they have all of those things. And I've worked with people with very little money who have all of those things. So it isn't a function of the money. Joy and happiness comes from within. The more money we have, the more we can amplify that joy and happiness. So money simply amplifies who we are. If you're a jerk, you're going to get more money. You're just going to be a bigger jerk. If you're magnanimous and you're joyful and you're happy and you love people and love life, it's going to amplify that. So it is literally a byproduct of who we truly are. And if we enjoy making it, and then enjoy spending it as well. Enjoy sharing it. Enjoy all there is to enjoy as a result of being happy from within and the success that you have.
Yeah, I like this. So if we've talked about discovering sort of where those blind spots are. How do you start to reprogram them? I imagine that's a difficult process. It could be baked in over decades or who knows, generations.
Yeah, and it's very much like any addiction, and exactly like an addiction. We don't realize necessarily that it's there, but the great analogy I like to use is, how do you stop smoking? Well, stop putting cigarettes in your mouth. It's that simple. I mean, it literally, in the physical act, is that simple. But then you talk to somebody who smokes and it ain't that simple. It's like really hard. There's something underneath it. There's that physical addiction that makes it so difficult. And the same thing's true with old mindsets. We become addicted to them. So when we have a 4-step process that anyone can do. Number one is to notice it. Whatever it is, I think money is the root of all evil. It's just one of the ones that a lot of people, your listeners may not have that. Maybe it's, I can't be satisfied until I have X success. Like, I can't be satisfied until I have X success. That's a really good one in this context. So notice it and just own it. Oh, wow, there's that conversation. I've had it for 30 years, 40 years, however long it's been. Number one. Number two, this is the hard one. You got to let it go. You have to audibly say, I let that conversation go. I release it. Just like you're firing somebody. You just don't think that you're going to fire somebody. You have to stand them in front of you and say, I'm letting you go. I'm sorry it's not working out. And this is what you're doing with this mindset. I'm letting it go. You no longer work for me. You no longer are employed by me. You no longer have space in my enterprise. I'm releasing you into wherever you're releasing it. God, the universe, doesn't make any difference. And then the third step is when you feel that sense of like, okay, wow, it feels like it's moved away. I kind of let that go a little bit. Then you create, well, who do you want to be in that relationship? When we're talking about, in that particular instance, success, I can't be satisfied until, then who do you want to be in this moment? Wow, I have joy and satisfaction in my life right now. I have peace in my life right now. Whatever it is that comes to you, you want to say it, declare it, and then own it. Have it written down everywhere. I tell my clients it should be on your computer screen, on your mirror, on your nightstand, everywhere. And you want to feel that new way of being that you've just created. And then the fourth step is go out and look for it. Look for it actually manifesting or being present in your life, where you're like, whoa, I just had an interaction. I felt so fulfilled by that. Wow, I was so at peace in that particular engagement. And I normally would get stressed and worried. I slept really well last night. All of those are opportunities to see it actually showing up in our lives right now. So those 4-step process, that's all you need in order to shift any mindset that is taking you out over a period of time, whether it's years, decades, or just a month.
Yeah, so I imagine the letting go is probably one that just trips people up. How long does it typically take your clients to truly let something go where they're noticing, oh, maybe I have to pay an invoice for my company or whatever, and
Right.
it's, I don't know, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7 figures. Normally I would
Right.
panic, and now there's a little panic, but there's not no panic. Like,
Right.
what's the
Right.
level of time?
Well, I think I've had people, it's literally instantly worked. We've done the 4-step process together, and suddenly they can feel the shift. And the next time I speak to them, they're like, Pericles, from the moment I got off the phone with you, everything has shifted. We can shift our perspective and our mindset and our experience of the world in a nanosecond. That's all it takes. The manifestation of everything can take a little bit of time. The actual showing up in our lives might take some time. But from that moment forward, everything we see is through that lens. And it's kind of like, if you think about a business owner, is I have an idea and I'm making this idea happen. Everything they do is through that lens of success. That lens of this shall be no matter what. We look at somebody like Jeff Bezos, in the original picture of him in Amazon in his garage where it's printed on a dot matrix poster, right? He had this vision and he saw everything through that vision. Now, anything that showed up that was contradictory to that vision were just mindset issues. And the faster we can deal with them, the more we get back to that vision. And so it can be instantaneous where we can see results in our experience of life.
Does that come from the third step where you say you recommend your clients actually writing it down and reminding themselves? Because it's so easy to get
Yes.
back in that past
Yes.
lens, right?
Yes. And it will show up. It will continue to show up. So we've got the science of it, which are neural pathways.
Yeah.
We've got trillions of neural pathways in our brains. And we've been firing and wiring these neural pathways, whatever that is, where I need X to have success or feel successful. That neural pathway has been firing for a long time. Well, when we do the first 2 steps, we're actually breaking that old neural pathway. We're tearing it down. And then the third and fourth step is where we've created this new neural pathway. And the more we think about it, the more we feel what it feels like to be in that new way of being, the more strength and power that new neural pathway has. And then the more we say it, the more we're present to it, and not just rotely say it. You got to feel it, really visualize it and experience it. The more powerful that new neural pathway becomes, and the weaker the old neural pathway will become, and the less frequent it will fire off. It will still fire off, but start step 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. It's all you have to do is consistently do that. We live in a world created by the thoughts we think, the actions we take, and the words that we speak.
It's that simple. It really is that simple. I'm curious on the backside then, after somebody goes through this and they really commit to it, what are some of the things your clients have experienced that maybe they weren't anticipating or they weren't ready for?
I think overall, people have this sense of calm and peace in their life that they never experienced before. It's kind of like taking care of an elderly parent where you're providing 24 care. And it's happened gradually over, like the frog in the hot water. We put a frog in cold water and slowly turn up the heat. We don't realize how hot it's getting. And then all of a sudden it shifts. We get out of the water and we realize, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I stressed about money, how much I stressed and worried about success. I realize now I have everything that I've needed, everything I've ever wanted. I have it right now. Does that mean I don't want more? Absolutely not. It just means I have the experience of being fulfilled right now. And that is priceless. People have that sense of joy and happiness and fulfillment in their lives. Life becomes such an adventure from that moment forward. And we see things like, oftentimes, I'll use Bill Gates as an example. I don't know what his business life was like, but he's living the life of his dreams now. On the other side of whatever it is he's created, he's now just going throughout the world and making a difference. And if he did that while he was building his business, that's great. But he may not have been. He may have been driven. He may have been suffering. He may have been all of that. Well, what if we weren't suffering in any way ever, and we were just experiencing joy and happiness as we deal with whatever there is to deal with, the breakdowns, the successes, the wins, the losses? It doesn't ever diminish who we are right here.
I think there's this misconception too. I think Bill Gates is a great example. I also don't know what he was like during his career, but people always think they have to choose career success, business success, or enjoyment. And I think you can definitely have both, but do you find that with people who come to work with you, is they're sacrificing one or the other? And then is it true? Can you really have both at the same time?
Yes, it is absolutely true. You can have both at the same time. And the majority of people I work with are in that world of, I don't think I can have it all. I need to just really buckle down. I need to sacrifice everything in order to have this success. And then I will get to wherever. Well, what if and then never comes? What if a bus comes along, right? And we end up in the middle of our lives, it ending, and we never experience the joy and satisfaction that we want. And it gets even bigger when we really start to look at who we are in the world. Are we someone that wants to be known as someone who's kind, someone who's generous, someone who cares about other people? Or are we going to want to be known as someone who's just really, really successful? And we're seeing that fallout in play out many, many different ways. And you can pick whoever you want, but we see people hugely successful going down paths that have nothing to do with their success. And suddenly they're hitting a wall. And it's like, okay, well, what was it all for? Right? Or they're hugely successful businesses, but their employees are suffering. Their employees can't afford to live off the wages they're paying. But these people are billionaires, have multi-billion-dollar companies. Well, is that the kind of person you want to be known as? Somebody who's hugely successful yourself, but you don't share that success with the people who help make it happen. These are the kinds of conversations that we want to start, I say, we want to start having if we want to have that kind of joyful, peaceful, fulfilled life.
I love it. So if someone's listening to this right now, they have a business, they have a team, they have maybe a large company, what do you want them to recognize about their thought patterns? And then what do you want them to do about it so that they can experience that joy and hopefully get to that next level in their journey?
Yeah. First thing is really distinguish your why. Why are you doing this? And is that why consistent with who you are? If it isn't, get it lined up so that it is consistent with who you are. And then is every action, is every thought that you focus on, is every word that you speak consistent with fulfilling on that why? And if it isn't, adjust it. We've just got to make those adjustments every single day. And small adjustments over time result in huge outcomes at the end of the day, at the end of a week, a month, a year, a quarter, or whatever it is. So focus on your why. Make sure your why is consistent with who you are. And then make sure every action you take is consistent with that why. And that why should include everything. It's not just your business. It's you. Are you taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually? Are you taking care of the people that you love around you? Are they included in that? Are you bringing them along, as well as the people that work with you and work for you? Is everything moving along consistently with that why?
This is absolute gold, Pericles. Thank you so much for coming here. If the listener wants to learn more, they want to dive deeper, where should they go?
They can go to periclesrellas.com.
Beautiful. I love it. It's on the screen. It's in the show notes down below, wherever you're watching or listening. Pericles, thanks again for being here.
Brandon, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And for those of you listening, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. This is episode 400 of this show. That's a crazy milestone for me. Thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. Go tell your friends. Let's have more people jump on this bus and continue the party. We'll see you on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch.
Another episode of Harmonious at Lunch in the books. I hope this episode made you think and you grabbed some actionable ideas to propel your business. Don't forget to like, comment your takeaways, and subscribe wherever you're listening so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you achieve harmony in your life and business. For cutting-edge tools that bring clarity to your people and processes, check out humanoff.com to download our app today.